Data is culture, and this needs to fit into the culture. It's not just the technological culture, it's not the banking culture, it's the economic culture, the social culture, the way it fits in with the rest of the digital economy.
We're at the calm before the storm. It's frustrating, but I can see in the next 12 to 18 months, this thing has the ability to take off like a rocket. I think we probably don't like to be in a pause position, but if that enables us to get the next step right, then it's, we're going to look back years to come and go, what were we complaining about that 9 month period where it didn't feel like a lot was happening.
Let's make this as good as a payment system for money and just make it a payment system for data. That was much different to the approach in the United Kingdom, where they just wanted another payment system for money with a little bit of data on the side. And I spoke with the UK quite a lot. I travelled there twice during those 6 months I had to design the framework. And they said, don't make it like ours.
You've only got to look at PSD3. This is the fourth crack that the UK's had of trying to get open banking, as we call it, working. Because each time they build something, nobody uses it.
This was never intended to just be a technological play. This was intended to help Australians swim at the beach, and it was supposed to help Australian businesses be the lifeguards that help them swim better. I'm not sure if Australians ever need to know the words consumer, data and right together. Maybe they just need to know that their mobile phone made their life easier, saved them some money, and they never had to worry about losing their identity in the process.
I wrote an article on LinkedIn a couple of years ago saying anybody that's been living in open banking, you go to a barbecue, and I sort of related it to a cardiologist trying to explain what a heart transplant is, and here I am trying to explain open banking to all my neighbours, and their eyes would just glaze over. And I posed the question, what's the best way to explain it? And I can't remember who it was, apologies if they're in the room. First comment, you don't. If it is successful, you shouldn't have to explain it because nobody cares. It becomes the experience.
It's just about what's the problem that it's solving. They don't need to know how it's been solved for. It's just, if it creates value in their life, it doesn't really matter, right? The thought process around the organisation that this was going to be a silver bullet, this kind of PFM app that we launched, and people would just come from nowhere and kind of there would be this huge kind of take up, right? So it was being thought about as a product in its own right, and one of the biggest transitions that we've made over the last kind of 6 to 8 months is thinking about this in everything that we do. So it kind of slithers right across the organisation, our products. So, how's it integrated into our frontline conversations? How does it integrate into all of our products, etc.?
What we do is we provide software that manages people's rooftop solar. So if you have solar on your roof, a battery in your home, EV charger, we grab all your data and we tell you basically how to save more money. How to get yourself, we call it a nil bill home. So, I know about you, but personally I love it when my energy bill is a credit. And that's sort of the goal of most of our customers. We hate paying energy bills. So what we do is we maximise that for them. And to do that, we need the data. And so we grab that data from a number of sources. Historically, we've grabbed it either from a third-party energy meter, which costs money to install, or from your solar inverter, which gets us some data. Of course, through CDR, we can now get more data. So we can get all of the data that your energy retailers have had for a long time. So the use case for us is you don't have to now buy a $300 device and get an electrician to come and install it because you've already paid $300 for that expensive smart meter that's sitting in your home that you were forced to buy when you got your solar system. So the use case for the customer is we then grab all that data and say, hey, your best energy retailer on your particular plan is AGL with their overnight EV charging plan, or it's whoever it is. The other thing we use that data for is to say, hey, actually, you would be really advised to get a 10 kilowatt hour battery because it would also save you money. Or if we take your hot water off your controlled load and put it into the middle of the day with your solar, that will save you money.
We just didn't feel comfortable to deliver a solution to practices where cyber is a key theme to deliver a solution that didn't leverage the security of open banking. So what we found after a lot of the sort of public cyber incidents that occurred earlier this year, when brokers in particular were utilising solutions that were screen scraping based solutions, and they were using those with their clients. The clients were actually saying, no, that's not something I'm comfortable with. And that really spiked off the back of those cyber incidents. So it was really a ticket to the game for us to deliver a solution that had that security element built into it.
The biggest issue we have in energy is that under CDR, basically it's been treated as if it's your banking data. And I don't know about you, but I don't want any of you lot looking at my banking data. You can all look at my energy data all you like. So for me, they're actually not the same, and our customers certainly see that. So I'll give you one classic example is, when you buy a solar system, you have a solar retailer who sold it to you, and that solar retailer has given you a 5, 10, 25-year warranty on the system. So, we monitor it on your behalf, and if there's a problem, we tell the solar retailer. Now, if the solar retailer is not allowed to look at your data, they can't help remotely diagnose the problem and know when to get it fixed and so on. I mean, we can help them, but we can't show you, we can't even give them an insight. So if we know something's wrong from looking at your CDR data, we're not allowed to tell them.
We'd love to see some more data sets. So originally Open Finance had superannuation and insurance included. So we were really keen to see those data sets included, but also government data sets like Centrelink and ATO. If you look at accountants, they can get access to some of that information easily and act on behalf of their clients. Why can't financial advisors and mortgage brokers get access to that same data through the consumer data right, be able to be delivered in a consolidated way to the intermediary that they're relying on to give them financial advice about their future? The hard work starts from now. So what change management activities do we undertake to really move from interest through to take up? So one of the things that we're doing is shining a spotlight on the early adopters, some of the opinion leaders within our network, and getting them to share what they're doing in their business. And one of those early adopters had a classic quote. He said he loves the fact that he's now got something that helps him facilitate a conversation with his customers that they would typically run away from, and that was a conversation around their budget.
Right.
Yeah.
So he can have a very real conversation with them and actually take some action to assist the customer with their budget, set some goals, and manage to that. So it's really just thinking about what other change management initiatives we can implement to get faster take up.
I just like to see more people having a crack. I mean, this is there's data there. We can all make excuses. I hear people say, "Oh, I just want to wait there for for there to be more traction." Well, you're part of this ecosystem. Just have a crack, right? So I think that's that. And then will that happen? I think the answer is yes over the next 12 months, because some of the more recent announcements at the big end of town and more broadly, I think that creates curiosity, and then banking's pretty boring, so then people don't want to get left behind, and that'll give people a nudge. So I think that we'll kind of start seeing some traction. That's my view anyway.
You've invested in something which we all worked on, and everything I have ever done has been with the help of a lot of you. But thank you for making this thing real. You may not get thanked for this. Maybe it'll be a generation ahead that will thank you for this, but it is really important. And I also hope that you have very successful businesses in doing this, because this is a business-friendly system as well as being a government-friendly system. So thank you very much for what you've done.